Hi, everyone. I don't know if you all know that Venus and Jupiter are in conjunction on Pisces, the right fish of Pisces, which is where Neptune is. Neptune is down here on the circlet of Pisces, which I do believe is like the Christ crown. So Neptune has very much Christ attributes. He's about saving people. He wants to help. He's very metaphysical. He can see through the veil, so he's almost shamanic. Okay, so he's there for quite a while because he's in Pisces, I think, till 2030s. He's there for quite, many years. So he's just passing along this route here on the ecliptic. But Jupiter and Venus are in conjunction right now, today and tomorrow. You can see them on the west just after dark, Eastern Standard Time, and they're up in the sky, I think about till 8 o'clock or so, and then they go behind and descend, so you can't see them, but it'll look like a really, really bright star in the sky, like our bright planet. It's going to be huge. Okay? I don't have clear skies, so I'm unfortunately not going to be able to see the conjunction. But I wanted you guys to know exactly what this is making us feel like, because Pisces rules the 12th house. It's a spiritual house. It's all to do with your psyche and your souls. Your souls, I'm saying souls because you have a higher soul and a lower soul, and Pisces represents that. It's your two soles of your feet. So your souls connect to the ground. It says that in the Bible, your feet will turn to brass when you ascend or activate. So the feet are very important, and the mythology about these two fish I'm going to get into. But this is important because Jupiter saves Venus and Cupid, who are riding the two fish or dolphins, and he saves them when the sea monster, which is here, typhoon, is chasing them. And so they're tied together. Pisces, the two Pisces fish are always tied together by a cord and a knot, and that's how they get saved. But it's Jupiter that saves them. So that's important. Jupiter also rules Pisces with Neptune. They both rule Pisces. So they're in the spiritual house. So there's a big spiritual awakening happening right now, and people I think, are starting to feel it, right? And with Venus there, it will feel even more intense because of her passion and love, right, that she has. So there's going to be this sense of wanting to feel very connected to your spiritual aspect of yourself. So what's happening at the same time is Mercury is in conjunct with Saturn in Aquarius. Now, Mercury is your mind. Saturn rules Aquarius as well as it rules Capricorn here. But when he's in Aquarius, he's more futuristic thinking. He's more to do with networking. He's more to do with the higher realm of Aquarius, which is kind of in the ether, right? The sun is there as well. So there's lots of Aquarian aspects going on right now. The negative side of Aquarius is that the networking comes through AI instead of your higher self networking with people. But this would bring the ability to network quite well because Saturn is a worker, right? He likes you to work. And so your mind is going to be thinking in that terms of Aquarian thinking. It's a bit rebellious, okay? But it will kind of, in a way, slow it down in a bit because Saturn kind of is, he can delay stuff when he's in Capricorn. So, but Aquarius, it's an air sign. So to me, with him being here, he's just going to make everything a little bit more, in your head. Okay. It's going to be in your head. And the networking has to come through your head, like through your ability to go inward and find yourself in the Aquarian aspect. And so there's that going on. And then Cupid, because he's always with Venus and with Pisces, is in on Entrees, which is the heart of Scorpio. And I want to go into a painting that has the scorpion figure in it which is really an important painting, which is called the Venus, Cupid, Folly, and Time. Then we have the Ichthyes here, which is the Vesica Pisces. Again, Pisces, it's all related to Jesus. Okay, so with Neptune being there and Jupiter being there, all in Pisces, and Venus, there's lots of this Jesus feeling coming through, right? Because of the fish. He was recognized by the symbol in really early on in Christianity, when you were basically executed for being a Christian. And so if you met somebody on your path and you wanted to know if they were following the esoteric knowledge that wasn't allowed to be spoke about, you would draw one portion of this Vesica Pisces, and then the other person, if they knew about it and Jesus's teaching, would draw the other side, so that you knew you were in good company. So the Ichthyes is the two fish as well. Okay, in Greek mythology, it's not only Jesus, but they're the two large Syrian river fish who rescued Aphrodite, which is Venus, and Eos, which is Cupid, when they were fleeing the monster Typhonus. According to some, the two gods instead disguised themselves as fish to escape the monster. The fish are also credited with assisting to the birth of Aphrodite from the sea foam. Now, Aphrodite's Venus, there's a famous painting of the birth of Venus that Botticelli, I've spoke about that before, that did, it's a very famous painting. It has lots of esoteric knowledge in there. In all versions of the story, they are set among the stars in the constellation Pisces. Okay, so you can see that it's related, the two fish and Jesus is related to Pisces. Okay, it's also, Pisces rules your psyche, it's your dark night of your soul. It's really a spiritual, and people can become very emotional when the moon is in Pisces. But right now the moon is in Gemini, moving into Cancer, which is the manger of Christ. So there's going to be lots of Christ energies going around right now. Okay, so here we have this Ichthyos Centaurio, which is these, also known as these two fish, but they're not fish now. They're actually scorpion. So Cupid, is one of these fish, or riding one of these fish, and there's a scorpion aspect to it. They have scorpion things on their heads, they're saying here, and then they're also half horse and half human. Okay? So they're Centaurian sea gods with the upper bodies of men and lower forequarters of horses that are serpentine tails of fish. Their brows are crowned with a pair of lobster claw horns. So these are lobster claw horns. So not scorpion, but lobster. The fish centaurs were named Pythos for deep depth and Arphros for sea foam. They were brothers of the wise centaurus Cryon. Cryon is the wound that you get on your natal chart, on your charts, wherever you have Chiron, you get a wound that you have to heal from, that by the healing you share with others, and that's a big part of getting the key, okay, because his alchemic symbol is a key. And like him, were perhaps regarded as wise teachers. Yeah, Chiron is teaching you through your pain. So this realm does that. Okay, so when you experience lots of pain, you become wise because you have to, pass through it. And then you realize that it was a gift because you can help other people from the pain. The sea centaurs were probably derived from the fish deities of the Syrian mythology, which carried, this is Venus, Ashtar ashore after her birth. These were placed among the stars as the constellation Pisces. So there's the other aspect of it. Here, Venus and Cupid are riding the two sea monsters. Cupid raised an arrow in his right hand, two heads representing the wind and clouds above. But here they look like sea monsters, right? So this is kind of the same as the Centaurian seahorses. Here we have artwork from 1759. This artist, John Deere, okay, he did this with with Venus on the sea monsters, and you can see Cupid is here. He's here, and then there's another little Cupid guy over here, okay? So they're always with the sea monster because Pisces is above Cetus, Cetus, the sea monster, okay? So here's the painting that I want to go over. Venus, Cupid, Folly and Time. It's at the National Gallery in London. Angelo Bronzino painted it. Now there's a lot going on in here. Okay, so first of all, you see Venus and Cupid. Now he's supposed to be her son, right? And he's fondling her. So there's some like erotic thing going on there. Then we have Cronus. He's the god of time here. He's got the veil. Okay, so he's like allowing you to get through the veil or not. Okay, there's a character here they call Folly, who's they're saying is like has like a mask on, similar to the Divine Comedy masks over here. This is all tying into the Judgment of Paris, where this wicked lady, I can't remember her name, offers a golden apple, and Paris has to decide who's going to get the golden apple, and he gives it to Venus. Okay, so that is connected to this because she has the golden apple. Then this character here is interesting because she's holding a honeycomb. She looks like she's got like a lion's back leg. Then it's like a fish net or the scales of a snake, right? And I'm not sure what she's holding here, okay? But, she's hiding behind here. And this they call a putti, who is holding roses and gonna, put them over Venus. And a lot of times these little puttis are urinating, okay? That's another whole story that I found out today. I was like, oh my God. So that all ties into urine and the fountains where these little boys actually urinate. Okay. Now, this is interesting on this part of the painting. There's a dove there, but there's actually two, and I'll zoom in a little closer for that. Okay, when we look at it more in detail here. Okay, so here the painting may have been commissioned by the MUSES family. These are very elite. Back in the time of 1545, they were collecting all the esoteric artifacts, even from Constantinople. They were collecting all of it. Okay, so, and then the painting was brought to Napoleon from Paris to Vienna, where in 1813, Johann Kleglevic gained possession of the painting. Okay, so this painting is really important. Okay? And I think it has a lot to do with time. Okay, so it's about getting out of time. Now, the dove in the Bible represents the baptism. Okay, so when you get baptized, or when Jesus got baptized by John the Baptist, John the Baptist saw the divine message or the divine light coming into the top of his head, and this is represented by the dove. Okay, it's usually you see the dove, it's like swooping downward, and that's what that means. Okay, now I wanted to see here, yeah, they're talking about the golden apple and the Judgment of Paris. While he sports the characteristic wings and the quiver. Yeah, he has a little arrow in his hand. And they're talking about the nude puto. Sometimes he's called putti, and sometimes they're called puto, these little nude boys. Okay? And then they're talking here. Many scholars believe that his gesture seems to be saying time is fleeting, and you never know when it may be all over. Okay? The figure opposite time, and also grasping at the drapery is usually called oblivion because of the lack of substance to his form. That was the one that kind of had the mask face. So the Oblivion, it's interesting because Tom Cruise did a whole movie and he saw himself, he saw his other self in that movie. And that's kind of what Pisces is. It has to do with the other side of yourself that's in a different realm. Okay. And the mirror, the mirroring, right? Because Venus is always the one that holds the mirror. So they go on and talk about the mirror and well, you can see it actually when I'll zoom in a little closer, you can see it. The creature at the right-hand side behind the innocent-looking Pluto with the girl's face and the concealed sphinx-like body. Yeah, I said it was like a lion. Her head twisted at an unnatural angle. Her hands reversed, extending a honeycomb with her right hand and hiding behind her back a scorpion's barb. Well, that's what she had in her other hand, the scorpion again. That's right, I saw that. So it's tied to the scorpion, and Cupid is in Scorpio right now. I knew it was Scorpio somewhere. And at the end of her serpentine tail may represent pleasure and fraud. This is, however, no consensus on these identifications. So yeah, I mean, it's your own interpretation of the painting, right? It's the beauty of art. But it's mentioned a lot in popular culture. So Monty Python's foot is attributed. They have this foot at the beginning of their credits, okay, going up, and they show the foot that is the Cupid foot, okay, and then they also have they mention it in Iris Murdoch's novel, The Nice and the Good. The paintings also discussed in the Old in Art School. What's bred in the bone clocks, it's all to do with time. The survivors, switched at birth, episode 22. We know that's the Fool's card on the tarot. And then the Divine Comedy, because yeah, it's a pop band. Yeah, because it is a big joke. We're in a big joke. Okay. So here is the foot. And this is on the Monty Python. They use this part of the foot, and they're saying that there was actually, I read somewhere that the foot was stepping on a thorn, but I can't see the thorn. But what I can see is this dove has a mirror image. Okay, so, there's, again, this aspect that there's another realm. Okay, so that I find interesting, and they're using that in the Monty Python part of it. So they're saying here, the foot of Cupid, the giant foot that suddenly squashed things. That's what's in the Monty Python. They're saying like Cupid squishes us. The latter is appropriate from the figure of Cupid. Yeah, that has this, it's his foot. But this is interesting because it's almost like they're showing Pisces here, right? Because Pisces rules the soles of your feet. And, he and Venus are Pisces. And then his foot has this connection to the heavenly realm, being enlightened. Okay, so there's definitely a huge esoteric connection to that. And it was in the Monty Python where that they zoomed in on this. They're always zooming on stuff like that. It's fascinating. Any of these shows, they always show us the way out. Okay. So it's important to understand that, they're showing you the symbolism for you to wake up in your consciousness, not as laughing at you or showing that they're evil. Right? They're just showing you what this realm is about. So I think these energies are really about kind of going inward, meditating, taking some quiet time, reflecting, and just loving yourself and loving your spiritual side of yourself. So take the time, because Venus is there for the next day or two with Jupiter in Pisces. But it's important to kind of work with the energies that's happening in the sky. So I just want to put this quick little video together. I hope you all are doing well. I'm right in the middle of writing my book. It's like getting really like, whoa, overwhelming in the sense that, I have so much to tell you guys, and I'm just like trying to sort it all out. And it's it's very time consuming, and I want to get my next class out, but I'm not ready because I've been really focusing on my book. So I will announce the next class probably next week, and then maybe do it the following weekend. Get the last few classes out on the school. So I appreciate you guys having patience, and I'm sorry I'm not putting more videos out, but it's just taking so much time with my writing, and it's really fun to do because I finally feel like my head is getting emptied and I'm finally getting it on paper, and I can actually, get it to you guys. So take care, enjoy the energies. Bliss to you all. Bye.